Hey guys, so this is part 3 of my tutorial. I literally just stopped it and started again just to save footage, because as you know, YouTube has a time limit on its tutorials, so I have to break it up into parts. So this is part 3. If you're just joining me, I suggest you watch part 1 and part 2, but what we've done so far is configure the cloud for frame relay, and we've configured .2 network and .1 to be able to talk back and forth through DLC 16 and 61, and from router 4 to router 1 using DLC 64 and 46. However, they cannot communicate yet because we have not got a routing protocol up, which we're going to leave for the very end. So right now I am going to pick up from where I left off, and I'm going to create a frame relay point-to-point connection from router 4 to router 3 using DLC 150 and coming back through 105. So let me get to this. Exit SE30.150, which is over here. Remember, I don't need to specify encapsulation frame relay because I already told the router that I wanted to do it on this interface. So it'll create the sub interface for me. So there we go. We've created the sub interface. Now we want to give it an IP address of 10.0.1.2 255.255.255.252, and give it bandwidth of 64. And if any of this stuff doesn't make sense, please just send me an email, go to my website, join the forum. I have a forum there you can join. Not many people have joined yet, and that's fine, but if you ever want to just have one-on-one attention, I can help you in the forum. So look here, 150, DLC 150, and sub interface 150, and the DLC over here is 150. So if you guys ever want some one-on-one help, I can help you on the forum. That way you don't have to be leaving comments and stuff like that. So okay, so I've set up router 4. Now I'm going to go to router 3, which is over here, and this is to connect router 3 to router 4. So conf t hostname router 3, router 3, because I haven't activated frame relay on this interface yet, I'm gonna have to do that now. So no IP add encapsulation. Now I'm activating frame relay on this interface, and now I'm activating the interface with the no shutdown command. From here I'm going to actually create a sub interface, and the sub interface I'm creating is going to be in correspondence to 105, the DLC, and you want to specify that you want this to be a point-to-point connection, point-to-point, and now you want to give it an IP address of 10.0.1.1 and 255.255.255.252, bandwidth of 64, and frame relay. Now you're telling this sub interface which DLC it needs to reference when sending packets to router 4, and it's DLC 105. Okay, now I'm gonna go up to back to router 2, because I want to create a route from router 2 to router 3, and then from router 3 back to router 2. So let's start with router 2, and if you remember in the past we've already set frame relay on this interface, so we don't need to specify that. We can just go straight to creating a sub interface. So interface serial 3 0, and the interface I'm going to use to get to router 3, the delci I'm going to use to get to router 3 is going to be 89, so dot 89, and once again point to point. And I know a lot of this is actually kind of tedious work, but it needs to be done. So it's really good to practice by setting up little networks like this, which I have done, and just working through it. So 10.0.0.1 255.255.255.252. And if anyone's interested, I could take the time and write out the steps for this, and paste it in the description or on my website. If people are interested, just send me a message and I'll be more than happy to do that. 64 frame relay interface delci, and once again it's going to be 89, so 89 here, 89, 89. Okay, so now we're going to go back to router 3 for the final frame relay configuration. So let's go frame, oops, what am I doing? Interface, we're creating an interface, serial 30 dot 98 points to points, IP address 10.0.0.2 255.255.255.252, bandwidth 64, frame relay interface delci, and it's going to be 98 and 98. Okay, so there we have that. Now frame relay is set up, all the interfaces are active, the cloud's active, as you can see. The interfaces are lit up, and now what we need to do is configure a routing protocol to propagate the private networks as well as the public networks, which aren't necessarily public because it's not going over a public network. Well, it depends on, and I mean this is just a simulation, so but anyway, so let's start with router 2 and we'll work our way around anti-clockwise. So exits, but first, before we do that, let's go show run. If you go show run and you hit tab, you can see the FOSS Ethernet interface has got an IP address configured to it. Then there's two sub interfaces on serial 3, both of them point to point. The delcis correspond, which is a good thing to look for, just because that's a very often that's where problems come in, like you'll do like 89 and then 81 by accident or something. Anyway, so everything looks good there. You can also show frame relay map, and you can see that inverse ARP has tried to map this. Well, actually, no, inverse ARP didn't map this. We mapped it. So status defined. Yeah, defined. So we mapped it. Okay. So anyway, let's configure. Let's use RIP version 2. So router RIP version 2, and let's specify no auto summary and network 192.168.2.0, and it's going to be communicating with 1 and oops, and it's going to be configuring with network 3. And let's just do 4 for the hell of it. And then you want to specify the 10.0.0.0 network. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's do the same thing. T router rip version 2. Version 2. Oops. No auto summary. Net 192.68.1.0 2.0 4.0 and 10. And because I'm running short on time, I think I'm just going to pause this video here and pick up from it. So join me in part 4, please.